Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Year 6 to Year 7 transition materials. My name is Mr. Hallam and I'm the head of Year 7 and we are discussing a few more school policies and information you need to hopefully make a successful transition for you and your children in September. So this week I'm going to be discussing the following areas. I'm going to be discussing school transport, break and lunchtime expectations, social media and mobile phones, transition news, and also introducing 2 members of the Year 7 tutor team. So the first area I'm going to be discussing is school transport. So a large majority of students who attend Corby Business Academy will receive school transport both to and from school. All students are required to understand what excellent conduct is required and is expected on all transport, as that is just an extension of our academy day. As I say to students, as soon as you put your uniform on in the morning and walk out your front door, you are representing the academy. So if your child travels to and from school via a bus, please can you spend time reinforcing these expectations to ensure that students understand who instances can be reported to. If they should receive any negative behaviour, don't feel safe on a bus, they need to know who they can report it to. For example, they can report to their tutors first thing in the morning, to myself as head of year, to the student care team, or to the members of the senior leadership team who are often at the outside where the buses are dropped off in the morning at school. So some of the areas that we really want students to be aware of is that we have a duty of care to all students and cannot accept behaviour on buses that impedes the driver's ability to transport students safely each day, that will represent actions that make students feel unsafe or distressed while travelling on the bus, and brings the academy into disrepute. The following process will be followed if there is poor behaviour on the bus. In all but the most serious of cases, a member of SLT or myself as the head of year will speak to the student when conduct is causing concern, and we then remind them of our expectations. This will also result in a phone call home so parents and carers are aware of their children's behaviour. Any continued negative conduct on the bus which causes concern will lead to an appropriate ban from travelling on the bus. This may include a permanent ban from school transport. We do reserve the right to ban students from bus transport immediately for serious breaches of our behaviour or health and safety policies. We will contact parents and carers immediately in these cases. So many of you who are going to be getting a bus to and from the academy will have applied for a bus pass via the Northamptonshire County Council. On this screen you can see an idea of what that page looks like. As a school, we're not able to assist too much in this process because bus passes are provided by the Northamptonshire County Council. So there's a link to this in our transition newsletter, as well as on the pack which you have received regarding transition. As an academy, as I said, we're unable to check the process or the progress of regarding any application made, and you should contact the County Council if you have any concerns about any delays in your application process. Bus passes are delivered to the academy and are handed to your child on their first day by their tutor. It is important that students keep hold of their bus pass or they will be required to purchase a new one from Northamptonshire County Council. They will also be required to collect a temporary bus pass during break from student services each day while they have not got a pass. I recommend that students, if possible, purchase a lanyard type device for holding their bus pass and smart card, which we'll be touching on in a future episode. So the next area I'm going to be looking at, which is often quite important, is the break and lunchtime arrangements we have at Corby Business Academy. So looking at the timetable above, the start of the day is at 8 till 8:40. This will then start your first lesson at 8:40 till 9:40. Lesson 2 is 9:40 till 10:40. And then we have a split break time to ensure that students can access the restaurant without having to queue for too long. So if you're on break time slot A, your break time would start at 10:40 and finish at 11:05. After that, you would go to your tutor time. The other version of that is you'd be in tutor time during slot A, then you'd be having your break time at 11:05 to 11:30. Lesson 3 is 11:30 to 12:30. Then lesson 4 is split over 3 different lunch periods, but over an hour and a half lesson. So at some point in lesson 4, you would have your half an hour lunch break. You would be well informed before, so you're aware of when your lunch slot would be. Lesson 5 is between 2 and 3 o'clock, and that's the end of the day unless you are staying on for any session 6 activities, so those extracurricular clubs that you may wish to stay on for. So break time is 25 minutes and your lunch time is 30 minutes, so a really good amount of time. Your break time, as I've said, will be either in slot A. However, year 7 will be on slot B for break time, so that is when you'll be going out for break. So that means your tutor time is in slot A, 10:40 to 11:05. Your lunchtime will take place over that 30-minute slot, and we do try in the first term at least to have year 7 on that first slot so they can get used to going down to the restaurant and having a consistent lunchtime throughout their first short period of school. So just a reminder of some of our expectations. So students must collect their lunchbox or bag from their locker in a quiet and orderly manner. Should they be carrying their bag at the time, then obviously their lunchbox would normally be inside that. They then make their way to the restaurant or the outdoor seating area just outside the restaurant or to the astroturf, and students are expected to do this in a sensible and calm way. In the restaurant queue, they must at lunchtime they must be polite and efficiently in single file. Food should only be consumed in the designated areas, so in the restaurant or outside seating area, and there should be no chewing gum in the academy. Some further areas to touch on, particularly for break and lunch. So we take real pride in how clean our academy is and making sure it is a really good and fit environment for your learning. So we must ensure that all litter and recycling is placed in the appropriately labelled bins. We tidy away any plates from the restaurant and we tuck our chairs when we have finished eating. We also make sure that if we are eating out in the seating area outside, we are using the bins out there, and we are not taking any food that is going to be used on the astroturf, as this is an area that is used for lessons for PE, so we do not want any food making a mess of that area that would interrupt those PE lessons. When we move to these communal areas, we've got to do it in a timely manner, so as we move from one class to another, we need to be doing that very quickly. We must use the toilets and water fountains responsibly during our break and lunch times, and also this should not take place during your lesson times. We communicate politely and appropriately with our members of the academy community, so not just the teaching staff, but the members of staff that are working in the restaurant and working around the academy. We do not interrupt others' conversations. We always maintain a really smart appearance when walking around the academy building, so making sure our shirts are tucked in and our blazers and ties are on. And we must respect our own other people's personal space and refrain from any unnecessary physical contact with our peers when moving around the academy. At break and lunch times, you do have access to the astroturf. So we allow you to access this during your break and lunch, and this is a large outdoor space for you to play football and other games. Now this is the size of a full football pitch, so there's plenty of space for you to spread out with different groups of people. It can be just used for walking and talking with your friends, but you are allowed to play football on here, but you must provide your own football. However, as I previously mentioned, this is also a learning area for the PE department and their lessons. And is also used after school for community use. Therefore, all equipment on the astroturf must be respected by students, as well as no rubbish at any time or any food consumed on the astroturf. In terms of social media, which is our next key area that we're going to focus on today, Social media is, from my point of view, can be used in a very positive way. However, we must educate young people about how to use it safely to protect them, staff, parents and carers from the many issues which can arise as a result of social media. We expect that mobile phones are switched off while in school so they do not aid to any negative use of social media or distract students when they are with us in the academy. If your phone is seen or heard by a member of staff, this will be confiscated and you'll be taken down to student services and you'll be able to collect that at the end of the school day. You will also receive an after school tension the following day, and a phone call home will be made to make sure parents and carers are aware of this. If your phone is confiscated for a second time in the same week, you would not be able to come and collect it. We would ask that your parents or carers come and collect it from school. As I've said, we urge everyone to use social media in a positive way and never use it to promote antisocial behaviour, make malicious or derogatory comments, or bully other students or people. There is an expectation that families work together to ensure that age-appropriate social media is accessed and that parental monitoring is maintained to support a positive culture at the academy. Social media is a big part of young people's lives, so more so since this long period of lockdown and isolated periods where students need that connection. And we want students to understand the risks that the internet can bring. So we have assemblies and we also run sessions during tutor time that are going to remind students of the dangers that they may face when publishing online content, particularly on those social media websites. Students are at risk of cyberbullying and may become involved in cyberbullying themselves, sometimes inadvertently. As a parent or carer, there are a few actions you can take to help protect your children from the risks of the internet. Firstly, knowing what apps are installed on your child's mobile device or any other tablets or software or devices they are using. Knowing the passcode to access their device if needed. Understanding what once content is shared with others, it cannot be taken back. Once it's out there on the internet, it can be found. Knowing who your child is talking to is very important, and there is a section on the safeguarding element of our website which gives further tips and support with this should you need any. So the next day I'm going to discuss is just a reminder of the student questionnaire which should be completed by the 25th of June 2021. As a reminder, we use these to place students in their tutor group, which you'll be informed of after the release of the fourth and final episode. You'll receive a text message or email explaining which tutor group you've been placed into and who your tutor will be. There will be further information in due course, which will be explaining how our transition day is going to be working in school. So please look out for that communication, and I will be explaining it in a future video. And as a reminder, the Big Read was launched last week for a second year after the success of its first year. And as a reminder, staff who may well teach you next year have prepared videos for you to view. It's a great way to get to know a couple of staff at your new school ready for September. So keep an eye out for those extracts. There's also one that is by our principal, Mr. Underwood, which is a very good read, which is part of the book which you have access to via the school website. So this leads us on to meeting the first two members of the tutor team. Okay, so some of you will have Mr. Brooks as your tutor, who is a teacher of maths. Okay, so Mr. Brooks can be found in several different areas. So he can be found in the mate faculty at any time during the day, but obviously he'll be in your tutor room delivering your tutor time slot. So you'll be able to have a chat with him, ask him if you need any help, etc. So Mr. Brooks says that he's really looking forward to meeting you all and getting to know so many of you and wanting to help make your start to secondary school the best it can be. He's been teaching maths at Corby Academy for the past 3 years. You can come and see him at any time if you have any problems, and he will do everything he can to help you. So a little bit about Mr. Brooks, he's a very keen rugby player. He's from South Africa and he likes biltong. Dislikes is disrespectfulness. His favourite colour, I imagine from the South African link, is green, as well as his favourite hobby is playing rugby. His hero is the great Nelson Mandela, and his favourite food is a barbecue. His favourite restaurant, though, is Five Guys, similar to myself. And a fun fact about Mr. Brooks, he reads at least one book every month. And his 3 top tips are to take pride in yourself and school by having a uniform and all of your equipment each day. Don't be afraid to ask questions because staff are here to help, and to help others who look like they're struggling, or let another member of staff know. And our second member of the Year 7 tutor team is Miss Martin, who is a teacher of modern foreign languages, so she may well teach you French or Spanish when you join us in September. Miss Martin can be found in the BHE faculty, where we'll be based as a tutor group. So there's offices both up and downstairs, as well as a tutor room where you'll be able to find her should you need to talk to her. So Miss Martin has been teaching at Corby Academy for the past 2 years, teaching both French and Spanish. She's looking forward to meeting you all in September and helping you have a great start to your time here. She knows that starting a new school can be filled with nerves, but remember, everybody is in the same boat, and I'm sure you'll be able to have a great year and a great start with us in September. A little bit about Miss Martin. Her likes are obviously languages, but as well as that, she enjoys the sea. Her dislikes, though, are rudeness. Her favourite colour is pink, and her hobby is reading and makeup. Her hero is Jamila Jamil, and her favourite food is a good old Cornish pasty. Favourite restaurant is Wagamama, and a fun fact is that there are more animals in her house than there are people. Her 3 top tips are to remember a pen as well as a spare, to have a go at everything in lesson as well as after school clubs, and to be polite and helpful to everybody that you meet in school. So there are 2 members of the tutor team. So on transition day, if you've been selected to be in their tutor group, you will meet both Mr. Brooks and Miss Martin. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be introducing more members of the tutor team. There are 7 tutors in total, so there are 5 more to go over the next few episodes. Just a reminder, if you have any questions regarding the transition process or unsure of what you need or what must be completed and return to the Academy, please use the following email address below, which one of us will be more than happy to answer any queries that you have. So that's Year 7 admissions@corbybusinessacademy.org. I look forward to meeting you all on transition day as well as in September, but please contact us if you have any further questions. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.